Hello students, welcome to another video of number theory. Today we are going to discuss one theorem, and the theorem is Euler's generalization of Fermat's theorem. 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 Statement of this theorem is if greatest common divisor of a and m is equals to 1, then a raised to phi of m. Phi of m is Euler's phi function. A raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 mod m. A raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 mod m. So statement of this Euler generalization of Fermat's theorem says, if greatest common divisor of a and m is equals to 1, then a to the power phi of m, that is the integers which are relatively prime to m and less than m, the integers which are less than m and relatively prime to m are phi of m. So a raised to that integers phi of m. Phi of m is the number of integers which are less than m and relatively prime to m. Relatively prime to m means whose GCD is 1. So a is fixed number whose GCD is given, whose GCD with m is given that 1, and we have to prove that a raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 under modulo m. So to prove this result, we are going to use the reduced residue system that we have seen in previous videos. Let this R1, R2 up to Rn, instead of n we will take R phi of m. This phi of m is suffix. R1, R2 up to R phi of m be reduced residue system. Be reduced residue system. Here we have taken phi of m. Phi of m as suffix, since in reduced residue system we know that these R1, R2 are up to R phi of m or Rn, whatever it may be, is reduced residue system if these all numbers, that is all Ri's, R1, R2 up to Rn, R phi of m, whatever it may be. So these integers which forms reduced residue system must be relatively prime to m. By the definition, from the definition of reduced residue system, second condition says that these all integers must be relatively prime to m, and the integers which are relatively prime to m and less than m are phi of m integers. So we are taking phi of m as a suffix here. This R1, R2, this is reduced residue system. Then this number, that is the nth number, that is the number of all these integers, is equals to phi of m, since by definition of Euler's phi function, Euler's phi function says that phi of m means number of integers less than m and relatively prime to m. So these R1, R2 up to R phi of m be reduced residue system under modulo m. So this number is must be phi of m. So R1, R2 up to R phi of m be reduced residue system modulo m. Also we have given that greatest common divisor of a and m is equals to 1, and also GCD of a and m is equals to 1. So by previous theorem we have, if R1, R2 up to R, in the previous theorem was R1, R2 up to Rn is, previous theorem is, if GCD of a and m is equals to 1 and R1, R2 up to Rn is reduced residue modulo n, then multiplying each number, that is each Ri by a, that is AR1, AR2 up to Arn is also reduced residue system under modulo n. This is reduced residue system, and GCD of these two numbers is 1, that is a is relatively prime to n, then AR1, AR2 up to Arn is reduced residue system. Similarly here we have R1, R2 up to R phi of m is, we have taken this reduced residue system, and greatest common divisor of a and m is equals to 1. Therefore AR1, AR2 up to AR phi of m must be an reduced residue system. Therefore by previous theorem, and you must write the statement of that theorem. The statement of theorem is, if GCD of A and M is equals to 1 and R1 R2 up to Rn is a reduced residue system under modulo M, then AR1 AR2 up to ARn is reduced residue system. Using this result, we can say that here R1 R2 up to R5 of M is reduced residue system and GCD of AM is equals to 1. So we can say that AR1 AR2 up to AR5 of M is also reduced residue system. Therefore, by using this theorem, we can write AR1 AR2 up to AR5 of M is reduced residue system under modulo M. So we have taken this reduced residue system, and after that we get AR1 AR2 up to AR5 of M is reduced residue system. So before that theorem, we have seen one lemma, and the lemma states as R1 R2 R5 of M are positive integers less than M and relatively prime to M. Then ARI, that is AR1 AR2 AR5 of M, is congruent to R1 R2 up to R5M in some order. That is, these AR1 AR2 AR5 of M must congruent to these numbers. So using this lemma, we can write. Therefore, by this lemma, corresponding to each ARI, there exists one and only one RJ. Corresponding to each ARI, there exists one and only one RJ, such that this ARI is congruent to RJ modulo M. ARI is congruent to RJ modulo M. So by using that lemma, we have this ARI is congruent to ARJ modulo M. We have taken corresponding to each ARI, there exists one and only one RJ, but our lemma doesn't say that there exists one and only one. The lemma says us R1 R2 AR5 are positive integers less than M and relatively prime to M. Then AR1 AR2 up to AR5 of M are congruent to R1 R2 R5 of M modulo M in some order, but this lemma doesn't say that there exists one and only one. But we know that if this reduced residue system, then for another reduced residue system, there exists one and only one Ri. If there exists another Ri, then that two Rj's must be congruent to each other, and which gives contradiction. That is, we are going to show here to show this Rj is one and only one. Suppose that, assume that there exists another ARK. Suppose there exists another RK such that there is ARI is congruent to this RK under modulo M. So if you take this as equation number 1 and this is equation number 2, from equation 1 and 2 we apply the definition of congruence, then from equation 1 and 2 we get this M divides ARI minus RJ, M divides ARI minus RJ, and from this equation number 2 we can say that M divides ARI minus RK. ARI minus Rk. So after that we can use definition of divisibility. We get here Ari minus Rj is equals to suppose Mx, and this Ari minus Rk is equals to My. So from these equations, and if we rearrange these equations as suppose this Ari minus Mx is equals to Rj, and Ari minus My is equals to Rk is equals to Rk. So we, instead of this arrangement, if we get Ari is equals to Rj minus, sorry, Mx minus Rj, instead of this arrangement, if we take Ari is equals to Mx minus Rj, and this Ari is equals to My minus Rk. So this Ari is equals to Mx minus Rj, this another Ari is equals to My minus Rk. So these, from these two equations we get Mx minus Rj is equals to My minus Rk, My minus Rk. So here Mx and My, putting and rearranging again, we get Mx minus Y is equals to this Rj minus Rk. So this gives us divides Rj minus Rk. Here from equation 1 and 2 we get this definition of congruence on equations 1 and 2. This is from this is by applying definition of divisibility on these two terms, definition of divisibility, So after that we get this x and y are integers. So after solving we get divides Rj minus Rk. So applying definition of congruence, here we get Rj is congruent to Rk under modulo Rj is congruent to Rk modulo So this gives us the contradiction to R1, R2 up to R5 of which RRS. If these Rj's are congruent to each other, then which is contradiction to B RS. So this is contradiction, which is contradiction because R1, R2 up to R5 of is reduced residue system, which is contradiction, which is contradiction to R1, R2 up to R5 of is reduced residue system modulo This is contradiction to the second condition of reduced residue system. Reduced residue system says us these integers R1, R2, R5 of not congruent to each other. So which is contradiction to this. So this is the proof of one and only. This is the proof of corresponding to each Ari there exists one and only one Rj. For each Ri there exists some another Rj, then we get contradiction. So for each Ari there must be one and only one Rj such that Ari is congruent to Rj modulo So from this we can say that this Ari, each different Ari must get different Rj, but in some another order. We can't say that AR1 is congruent to R1 modulo AR2 is congruent to R2 modulo We can't say that, but this AR1 for each ARI, that is, if AR1 we take the congruence under modulo ARI, then ARI must congruent to Rn. Then that Rn is not congruent to each another integer. So AR1, AR2 up to ARn, for every integer ARI there exists one and only one ARJ. So from this we can say that these R1, R2 up to Rn are residues. Are the residues when we take the congruence of AR1, AR2 up to ARn under modulo these R1, R2 up to Rn are just the residues. They are not in exact order, they are in any order, but they are, these r1 r2 up to rn are just residues whenever we divide these numbers ar1 ar2 up to arn by m. If you divide ari's by under modulo m, then these are just residues. From this we can say that each arj, you can say that each ari will have different rj. Each I will have different rj, that is the numbers, which numbers, r1 r2 up to r5 of m are just the residues, of ar1 ar2 up to ar5 of m. ar1 ar2 up to ar5 of m, but not necessarily in same order. Write down that, but not necessarily in same order. Means we can't say that ar1 is congruent to r1 modulo m, they are in any order, not necessarily same order. So we get r1 r2 up to ar5 of m as residues whenever we divide ar1 ar2 up to ar5 of m by m. So we must get 1 2 up to 5 of m congruence, that is ar1 is congruent to suppose r5 of m modulo m, ar2 is congruent to suppose r1 modulo m, ar3 is congruent to suppose r2 modulo m. Then combining these 5 of m congruences, that is multiplying these all 5 of m congruences by using the theorem. Therefore by using the theorem, a is congruent to b mod m, and c is congruent to d mod m, then ac is congruent to bd modulo m, that is ac is congruent to bd modulo m. Using this result we can write the multiplication of all these 5 of m congruences as ar1 ar2 up to ar5 of m, as this multiplication ar1 into ar2 into ar5 of m is congruent to r1 r2 up to r5 of m. They are not necessarily in same order, but after taking all the multiplication of all the congruence we get them in this multiplication. So this is congruent to r1 into r2 up to r5 of m under modulo m. From this theory we have ar1, if you divide ar1 ar2 up to ar5 of m by m, we get r1 r2 r5 of m are residues, but we have proved this to get for each ari there exists one and only one rj. If there are different rj's, then maybe we get here r1 square r2 square, but that r1 r2 square is not possible, since each ari there exists different, for every ari there exists different arj, and for each ri, that is if we take ar1 under modulo m, then we get suppose r5 of m is residue. If we take ar5 of ar2 under modulo m, then we get some another residue, but multiplying all these we get this multiplication. So ar1 into ar2 up to ar5 of m is congruent to r1 r2 up to r5 of m. Here a is multiplication of a is, here is ar1, ar2, ar3, ar4, in each term there is a is multiplied by some ari. So a is here one time, second time, third time to phi of m times. So a to the power is phi of m. So taking a to the power phi of m common, a multiplication of a is phi of m times, since this a is one first time, second time is again a. For R3 there must be an a is multiplied up to phi of m times a is again multiplied. So a to the power phi of m into, now this r, what remains here, remaining terms are r1 into r2 into r3 up to into r phi of m. So multiplication of these phi of m arise, we can write it as product of ri and I running from 1 to phi of m, product running from 1 to phi of m. So this is the product of ri, that is if we run this product we get r1 into r2 into r phi of m is congruent to again this is product of I running from 1 to phi of m, I running from 1 to phi of m, r1 r2 this ri, this product is same. If we take a common in each case, that is a raised to phi of m is common, then we get the product of phi of m ris. Again this is product of phi of m ris. This is all is going under modulo m. Now we get a raised to phi of m into product of ris I running from 1 to phi of m is congruent to product of I running from 1 to phi of m ri modulo m. So we know the result, ax is congruent to ay modulo m if and only if x is congruent to this, x is congruent to y modulo m. Using that result we can write, therefore by theorem is ax is congruent to ay mod m, ax is congruent to ay mod m if and only if x is congruent to y mod m upon GCD of a and m. Using this result we can write this a raised to phi of m is congruent to, here x is a raised to phi of m, a is product of ris, again this a is product of ris. So a is equals to this, x is equals to a raised to phi of m and y must be 1. If we take phi product, this product common, there it remains 1. So a raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 modulo m upon greatest common divisor of a and m. Here a is product and m is m. So this m upon product of I running from 1 to phi of m ri GCD of a with m is, here a is product of ris with m, greatest common divisor of product of ris with m. So we are proving the result, a raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 mod m. Till this step we get a raised to phi of m is congruent to 1 mod m upon this GCD. If our GCD of these two numbers, that is GCD of this product and m is 1, then we get our result. But for that we must prove that GCD of these product and m is 1. So to prove this, we know that this r1 r2 up to r phi of m is reduced residue system under modulo m. So by definition of reduced residue system, second condition says that these ri's is relatively prime to m, that is r1 is relatively prime to m, that is GCD of r1 and m is 1, GCD of r2 and m is 1, up to GCD of r phi of m and m is 1. So from that, and also we know that here next step, here r1 r2 up to r phi of m is reduced residue system modulo m, m. Therefore GCD of each ri with m is equals to 1, that is GCD of GCD of r1 with m is equals to GCD of r2 with m is equals to GCD of up to GCD of r phi of m with m is 1, that is all these numbers are relatively prime to m. So using Therefore, by theorem, by using the theorem, this theorem is, if GCD of A and M is equals to GCD of B M is equals to 1, then GCD of AB with M, A into B with M is equals to 1. Using this result, we can say that GCD of R1 into R2 with M is again equals to 1, R1 into R2 into 3, that is product of all these Ri's with M is 1. Therefore, by using this result, we get GCD of product of these Ri's running from 1 to 5 of M Ri with M is 1. We get this. So, therefore, by this equation suppose star, therefore, we get equation star as, therefore, equation star becomes, therefore, equation star becomes A raised to 5 of M is congruent to 1 modulo M. A raised to 5 of M is congruent to 1 modulo M, hence the proof. Hence the proof. Hence the proof. In this proof, the statement of our Euler generalization of Fermat's theorem is if GCD of A and M is equals to 1, then A raised to 5 of M is congruent to 1 modulo M. To prove this result, we have just given the GCD of A and M is 1. So, to prove this result, we have taken R1, R2 up to R5 of M as reduced residue system. Also, we have given, so here is one reduced residue system and we have given that GCD of A and M is 1. So, using these two things and the previous one theorem, the statement of theorem was this. So, using this theorem, we can write AR1, AR2 up to AR5 of M be reduced residue system. AR5 of M be reduced residue system. So, after that, using the lemma, that lemma says that corresponding to each ARI, there exists RJ such that ARI is congruent to RJ modulo M, but that lemma doesn't say that there exists one and only one RJ, but this RJ must be one and only one, since if there exists another RJ, that is if there exists another integer RK, then we get contradiction. The contradiction by using here we get one congruence, and by using suppose there exists, suppose we have supposed another RK, then using these two congruence and using definition of congruence and divisibility, we get contradiction, and contradiction to what? Contradiction to R1, R2, R5 of M as reduced residue system. So, if we get another RK, then this RJ becomes congruent to RK, and these two are not congruent, since these RJ and RK belongs to reduced residue system, and is these two congruent to each other, then which gives the contradiction to our reduced residue system. So, this RJ must be unique, that is for each ARI there exists unique RJ. For each ARI there exists one and only one RJ such that this ARI is congruent to RJ modulo M. So, from that we can say that for each ARI there exists, that is R1, R2 up to Rn, sorry R1, R2 up to R5 of M is, these all integers are just the residues, are just the remainders when we divide when we divide AR1, AR2, AR5 of M by M, that is these R1, R2, R5 of M are just the residues when these ARIs taken under modulo M, that is these RIs are just the residues. This gives us the R1, R2, R5 of M are just the residues of AR1, AR2 up to AR5 of M, but not necessarily in same order. That is, we can't say that this AR1 is congruent to R1, AR2 is congruent to R2. They are, we can just say that these are residues, but in what order, then that we can't say that. So, ARJs are, when we divide ARJs, then we get this remainder, but not necessarily in same order. So, we get these RIs as residues of these numbers. So, for these all 5 of M congruences, we multiplied that congruences each other, and we get, by using this result we can multiply the congruence, and using this result we get this multiplication, that is AR1 into AR2 up to A into AR5 of m is congruent to R1 R2 up to R5 of m under modulo m. So we have taken these not necessarily in same order, but we have taken these AR1 into AR2 and R1 into R2. They are just the residues. In what order we can't say that. If AR2 is congruent to R1, then in the multiplication we can write R1 first, R2 second. So we can write this. So from this step, A is multiplied 5 of m times. So A raised to 5 of m taken common and product of R is in this form. We get this, and using another result, that is Ax is congruent to Ay modulo m if and only if x is congruent to y modulo m upon GCD of A and m. Using this result, we can write this A raised to 5 of m is congruent to 1 modulo m upon product of Ri GCD of product of Ri with m. But we know that this is reduced residue system. So these R1, R2 and all these integers are relatively prime to m. So taking another, therefore by using another result, that is GCD of A and m is equals to GCD of B and m is equals to 1. Then this GCD of A into B with m is 1. So using this result, we can write product of all Ri's with m is 1. So using this result, we get this GCD 1, and putting in equation star, we get A raised to 5 of m is congruent to 1 modulo m, and hence the proof of Euler's generalization of Fermat's theorem. This is the proof of Euler's generalization of Fermat's theorem.